Hey, what's up my good life seekers? Thank you for joining us yet again in this brand new video with Boris here. Like previously, we're gonna discuss something very powerful and something very interesting for you guys to take value from. Boris, thank you for joining us.
So today what we want to talk about is how excitement and fear are practically and technically the same thing. How does fear have an impact on our bodies on a scientific level? Technically, fear is just an emotional reaction that happens in your body. When you are in a situation of fear, your brain signal a sensatory signal that circuits around your brain. There's two ways that it can go through your brain. There's the long way and there's a short way. For example, you see a spider and you're just scared and you feel like a kid. Oh my God, this is so scary. This is basically the short way, that you react like very primitively and very instinctively to things. And the second way is the long way, when you manage to think about things a little bit more analytical, a little bit more like, okay, I see a spider, it's not so big, it's nothing special. And these two ways, these two signals happen at the same time. They go through the brain in the same time. They go to the thalamus and your brain processes these things. And what we want to speak about today is how to master this feeling and this reaction in your body. What I want to say also is that the physiological symptoms, the physiological reactions of your body when you feel fear, when your palms get sweaty, when your pupils are dilating, when your body generates cortisol, and this feeling in your stomach, the butterfly feeling in your stomach. It's the same in fear, it's the same in excitement. It's two same physiological reactions. And what we want to speak about today is how you can turn fear situations into situations that you feel excitement. Because they're practically, technically speaking, the same thing on a physiological level. But how we can transform them happens here in the brain and how we master them.
Yeah, sure. I have actually an example. I have a friend, his name is Ryan Pinnick. Shout out Ryan Pinnick from Super Genius Consciousness. He likes to ride his bike, yeah? He likes to ride a motorcycle bike, a race bike. They're very fast. He goes to these racetracks to ride the bike. So obviously that is full of excitement and adrenaline and also fear. So he was explaining exactly this situation of fear and excitement, how there is a particular turn on the racetrack where you need to be driving very fast. In your mind, logically, driving on that turn fast is scary and impossible. But the racetrack is made particularly and exactly for you to drive it fast so you can take the turn more sharply, more correctly, more fast and not to lose time. But it all happens in the mind. Before you see the turn, you get these two feelings, either fear and you slow down and you lose time and you are not very productive in the racetrack and you lose places and whatever you're racing, or you feel the excitement and being happy and joyful that you are speeding up and you know that it's all safe and everything is calculated. You just need to ride the bike as fast as you can and the racetrack will take you and will turn you and you will be head on and without losing time and maybe a place or so, you gain a place or so. So it is exactly what Boris is trying to say, is that having that excitement more over to, fear is here and excitement here. You need to take full control of excitement. Obviously, you are going to feel the fear emotions, the lower states of, that consciousness, but learning how to, master that and try to take it from that positive side of the things. Obviously, you're not going to feel it positive. You shouldn't be taking decision from fear. You should be taking decision from the excitement in that state of mind. Would you agree?
What we want to underline and what we want to make clear is that we're not encouraging any of you to be positive about fear. Fear is a very healthy thing in our lives. It pushes us to be better, it makes you feel human, and it's very natural and very normal to feel fear. And it's not healthy at all to tell yourself and create illusions and delude yourself that you're not feeling fear, to suppress your fear and give yourself and feed yourself with the illusion that you feel great. That is not how you should confront fear. you should actually just stand right in front of it and try to be in the moment. Try to confront the fear. What I mean by that, make your brain shock your brain, and train your brain. It's just like going to the gym. You should constantly train your brain to be stressed under fear.
Make your brain shock your brain, and train your brain. It's just like going to the gym. You should constantly train your brain to be stressed under fear.
Not like in a masochistic way and be like, could destroy your brain, but do it in a healthy dose. Limit this dosage of stressing your brain. You should train your brain so that your brain will eventually recognize it as a normal thing. Small steps. So I have two suggestions, two things, simple, maybe on a kindergarten level, two very simple things that if anybody of you can decide, they can follow. The first thing is something that I call
Just want to add, is this two techniques to overcome fear or to turn fear into excitement?
I want to make clear that you cannot overcome your fear. It is very important to underline that it is a way to turn your fear into excitement, because as I mentioned before, it's the same thing on a physiological level. It's just the difference is how we act upon these physiological things in our body. Because as Alex said before, and he will say it again, we have emotions in our body. These are chemicals, this is biology, these are things that are nature, these are things beyond our control. The only thing we can have control is how we act and how we react to these things. So this is why I want to suggest the 5-second rule. It's a very simple rule when you feel fear. It's simply just when you feel fear to close your eyes and count to 5. Just count to 5. This way, this shock wave that makes you feel agitated and excited, or a fear and this feeling in your stomach, will have some time. You will give your brain to breathe and go to your backside, to the amygdala of your brain, so that you can process the situation. And my second rule is something called the anchor rule. It is the rule that brings you down back to earth, that brings you down grounded when you feel fear. What is an anchor thought? For example, let's say you have a fear of planes. You create an anchor thought. Let's say you're on a plane and you're going to meet your cousin, your long distance cousin, who is also a good friend of yours. Your anchor thought is, how are you going to arrive at your destination and have a good time, let's say. You keep this in your mind, and when you feel all this, fear, you have the 5-second rule, think, and then come back to the anchor thought. And this is a way to slowly train your body and your brain to, let's say, turn fear into something exciting. It's very hard, it's not easy, but I think Alex can say a little bit more about this.
Sure. I totally agree on what you're saying. This is very important to understand that life is 20% of what happens to you and 80% how you react. So the power of the mind, whatever your thoughts are, they dictate your reality. They project what's going to happen. It's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. So take note from these two rules. Take note from how to turn fear into excitement. It's impossible to overcome fear, like Boris said, because this is a very strong feeling. It's an instinct that is pre-programmed in us from centuries and centuries and centuries, million years ago, from the prehistoric times. It is pre-programmed. Fear is something that keeps us safe, is something that keeps us alive and makes us feel human, like Boris said. So these two techniques will help you be in a better place, be a little bit more mastered in the way you accept fear, the way you react to fear, and how you go forward with whatever decisions you make based on excitement, based on presence, based on positivity, and not fear. Fear is something that will always be in you and will try to dictate your life, but how you react to it, my good life seekers, and what thoughts in your mind become and pop up, and what you decide to take note and action from is very important. The coin that is a representative of fear and excitement, that's why it's a coin, because it has two faces and they're very related to each other, and that's why they both have the same physiological aspects and physiological things that happen to your body. Like I said, decide which one you want to focus on and what actions you want to take from that, basically.
So in conclusion, we don't decide how we feel, but we decide how we act. This is what we want to say.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
So, thank you for watching my Good Life Seekers. This is the whole video. If you have any ideas for topic for a video, put them in the comments below and maybe we will do it. And like always, stay present, stay amazing. Life is amazing, life is beautiful, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.